I believe that we are facing a major breakdown of the Bretton Woods institutions.
I think the global south cannot be any longer be ignored.
I think when you look at China, it's a very large partner, as I said, in investment.
In an increasingly multipolar world, a question presents itself. How will the global south change the global financial order? Today, economic heavyweights from around the world will gather here in Beijing to discuss the global south's future role in the world's financial governance. Joining this forum are heads of multilateral monetary organizations, economists from the world's top banking groups, and prominent academics in the economic sciences. It shows just how important it is to reposition emerging economies in the world's financial landscape.
For many years, what we used to call developing countries, emerging market, we are calling now the global south, which I believe means a group of countries who have been emerging, who are still developing, who for many years have been concerned and very frustrated by the fact that their weight in the global economy was not very well represented in the Bretton Woods institutions. Today, I believe that we are facing a major breakdown of the Bretton Woods institutions. You already saw some signals that the US is no longer interested in multilateralism. So this is a very important and I believe a very turning point for the global financial architecture.
The global south, home to about 2/3 of the world's population, is making its voice heard with growing political and economic clout. It calls for a more balanced global system capable of addressing economic disparities.
I think the global south cannot be any longer be ignored, because I think in the future this global south will be even bigger in terms of the economic size. Right now the economic size more or less around 55% of the global economy.
However, the global south countries are tremendously diverse in economic and cultural landscapes. At this pivotal juncture of change in the global financial regime, it is crucial for them to pool their strength in order to drive a paradigm shift. And China is taking the lead in fostering such collaboration.
At one point, being involved and being a responsible player in the current global financial architecture, but at the same time decided that it makes sense maybe for China to set up new institutions. The two institutions that we are talking about were really involved in the financing of infrastructure, project finance. But at the same time, they provided a lot of innovation compared with what I will call the legacy institutions like the IMF and the World Bank.
The institutions founded by China and its global south partners refer to the Asian Infrastructure and Investment Bank and the New Development Bank. They have provided an alternative for developing economies grappling with the staggering funding deficits.
Belt and Road Initiative, as earlier discussed, is a global initiative, but it is also a great example under which Chinese financial resources and technical assistance are helping the development of many countries in the global south. The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, commonly known as CPEC, is a leading project under Belt and Road Initiative.
I think when you look at China, it's a very large partner, as I said, in investments, not just through Belt and Road Initiative, but also through private investment. And we see that happening in manufacturing, consumer goods, automotive, renewable energy. It's by far, I think, the single biggest financier now.
The attendees of this forum have reached a Beijing consensus. It highlights a concerted effort by global south economies to explore opportunities and navigate challenges in the financial sector. This is a timely call as the world faces more upheavals and uncertainties.
As we've seen so far, the global system actually fracturing because of the geopolitical situations. There's also the fluctuations of the capital market. So that's the one that we can learn actually from China, because we don't need actually the short-term capital investment that can come and go in rapid way. We need actually a long-term capital investment.
So I believe we are going to be in a period where we are going to have more multipolarity. The global south needs to be ready for major change happening in the field of global finance, but they need to continue to pursue and to ask for reform, because at the end the global financial architecture is something that should work for everyone.